Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aga and we are in my windy garden in Chichester. Today again we are in the actual garden, not the allotment, because the allotment still looks like this. Today is Saturday, the last Saturday of January. We have a nice sunny, semi-cloudy day again. So I am going to use the time to do some work in the garden. Not with the raspberries today though. I feel like I need a break from the raspberries and from the roots. So what I thought I could actually do today that would be helpful and practical is to trim the verbena that is growing along the picket fence. I can see that there is a lot of new growth from some of the branches that are popping up, but I will cut it down quite low because I know that verbena will grow back from a very short trimming. And then another reason for it to be done is that when eventually I will be working through this part of the ground to check for the raspberry roots, I would much rather have the verbena out, gone, so it's not in the way, because I can only imagine that this will be an annoyance for me dealing with that and having the verbena stems kind of poking me in the head. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Also, just to give you a quick update on the onions and garlics, and a question for you guys, if you know, because during the week, earlier in the week, I came here just to check because we've had quite a lot of strong winds again alongside the rain, and because I have those two arches leaning onto my greenhouse. I know this is not the safest and best place for it to be put, but this is just temporary until I'm done with the roots and the beds are back in shape. So I came here to check if everything is okay, if they didn't collapse or didn't break the greenhouse. And while I was here, I noticed that in the modules where I have garlic and garlic only, I haven't seen that in the onions, but there was plenty of yellow little things everywhere. If you can see this here right now, it seems kind of drier, but I don't know what is that. And it's all over the modules. You can probably, yeah, you can see that better in here, like this. What is that? I've never seen this before. Oh, I don't want to disturb the roots of the garlic, but come out. Oh, you can see it from the top as well, like this. It's everywhere. What is that? I've never seen this before. And it was on the surface like it is now. It's much drier now. But I noticed that the first time I noticed that was like a few days ago after the storm, when I came out to check on the situation here. And it was very bright orangey color. This, yeah, look. And it was deep in the soil as well, as you can see everywhere. And this is only in the garlic. Like I said, I don't see that in the onion modules. And the onions were not sitting, oh, look at the roots. The onions were not sitting on the outside. Only garlic has. When I initially planted that in the modules with garlic were sitting on top of this bed for quite some time, for quite a few weeks. And then I moved it here when I started working on the roots and moving the soil. So if you know what that is, if you can tell me, and if this is something that I should be conscious of and maybe remove from the modules, what does it mean? I also need to water those garlics now and the onions. If you could let me know in the comments if you know what that could be, I would appreciate that. I've never seen anything like it. So I don't know if that's some kind of fungi, or is it eggs of some creature that left eggs in those modules, or is it, I don't think it's seeds, because it doesn't, where would they come from? Like, strange. So I don't know. So yeah, help me out. Just checking quickly for any slugs that might have lost their way. Yes, like this gentleman here. This is not the place for you. I also have some echinacea that I grew from seed, I think last year. Is it? Or maybe, I can't remember, but quite some time ago. I don't know if anything will come out of it. There is a little bit of that yellow something in the onion pot over here. I'm curious, what is that? Are these eggs? So today I am going to focus on this little border here. I am going to trim the verbena, remove what can be removed from the ground. I'm going to check the pots. There's a few random pots in there with plants. Maybe I'll show you up close, and also for my records of how this is looking before. Starting from the very beginning, from the right side, I have a rose in here. This is a David Austin rose, and it is Gertrude Jekyll. It hasn't grown well, even though it has been planted in here last year, kind of mid-season, but it hasn't done very well. I'm not sure why, but looking at it now, I do see new growth. Like there's buds every now and then, but you can see that, yeah. I had a real plague of aphids last year, all throughout the year, and the aphids have ruined so many of my plants. Particularly they attacked roses and dahlias. So hopefully this year will be a little bit better. Okay, moving along. In this kind of empty spot where you can see some crocuses popping up, which is nice, I usually grow my annual cosmos. So I grow them from seed and I plant them in this area in bulk. So around 10 plants, and I just put them very close to one another, and that gives me a nice lush effect. That's why it's a little bit bare right now. Then we have the first verbena. I also had creeping thyme in here planted. I have few of those planted alongside, which now mostly has disappeared. Also grown from seed as an experiment, I think 2 years ago. And then this humongous rosemary, this is one plant, all of it, this. And I think the second one starts here. So I have 2 rosemary plants planted in between the verbenas. Once I tidy up the verbenas and cut them down, it will be maybe a little bit easier to see what's what. Those 3 pots are my heather plants that I used to have in the flower border at the edge, on the first edge, on the other side, where not the arch, the other side. But it hasn't been doing very well. I think it was overshadowed by other plants in there. So I took them out mid last season and put them in pots. I am considering where to put those heathers, because I don't want to have any pots standing in here. I just want to tidy up this border and have it very clean. But this is how it is when you grow a lot of things in your garden. You probably know that when you experiment and grow things in pots, then there is too many pots and not enough space to put them. So yeah, we'll see what to do with that. I might take those heathers to the allotment as well. Behind this pot I have another rose, another David Austin rose, and this is what is this? I can't remember. Gabriel oak. I can see that this is probably again because of the rain, that the compost that I have laid in here on top of the clay based has been washed off, and because I can see the roots, which is not good. So that's another thing that I need to fix while cleaning out this border. Also in between the verbenas, like in here, there and there, you can see the remains of sunflower canes. Because as you know, probably if you do grow sunflowers, the canes become very thick and quite difficult to chop down and remove from the ground. So I tend to just leave them until they kind of decay on their own. And then in the season, like right now, I just remove the rest of it. So that will be another thing to do. So also over here, we can see new growth from the Brunnera. This is Jack Frost. And this pot is holding sea holly. Nothing came out of it last season. I have planted that last season because I didn't have really the space to put it in the ground anywhere. It ended up in the pot. It might not have been the best idea. And here I can see that I have sown some fennel. It didn't come up. And this, that was something that my husband bought me in a bulb from Marks and Spencer's. And the label has faded, so I don't know. I don't remember what that was. But it seems to be alive, actually. I might take this one to the allotment and put it in the ground to give it more chance to establish roots and maybe flower if it's supposed to flower. This kind of dead wood, and over here, that's another, what was it? What did I say? Creeping thyme. Those two. I'm not really sure. I hope this will come back. So I don't know if I should trim it or leave it as it is. Not sure. And then at the end in the corner, that is a foxglove that I've had for 2 years now, for 2 seasons. Is foxglove going to come back, or should I dig it out after 2 years? I might just quickly Google that because I don't know. And just to have a close-up on this camellia, this is the second year basically of me having it, but I bought it a year ago as a kind of half of the size shrub in the pot, and I did put it in the ground at the end of last growing season, I believe. So it was sitting in the pot throughout the summer of last year, 2025. And I'm really pleased to see that there is so many new buds. So in a few weeks, probably, it will be all in blossom. And I hope this will grow really big and well in here and cover that whole wall. I think the introduction to this little border is long enough and detailed enough, so I'm just going to go ahead and start chopping things down. Before I start chopping, I just want to give you a real close-up to the Verbena plants. This is old stem from last season. This is fresh. This is fresh. This is fresh. This is fresh. So it shows how strongly Verbena can spread, and you can really chop down the last year's growth. Similarly, because the first one is quite cramped and covered slightly with the rosemary. But if you look at this one, this is last year. This is new growth. And you can see that this is completely new cane. This is last year. This is last year. This is new. This has grown in the recent month, I think. It just popped up. So I can easily just chop down. Look how many, if I remove the thyme, look how many little canes of the Verbena. is coming up in here. So you can easily chop the old ones without worrying about the new growth from the old ones, because they would produce their own little babies stems. But you don't really need to worry about that if you want to have the verbena coming up again next year. I mean this year, this coming season, it will be nice and bushy with just what it will produce from the new canes. From the new stems, I should say, not canes. Not to confuse this stuff with raspberries. This is not the same thing. So I am going to start trimming from the right side. And basically all of the old canes are going. Oh, I've got new secateurs. I treated myself to a new ones. After 3.5 full years of growing things in my garden and using the same secateurs, I finally decided to get a new ones because I could barely cut anything with the old ones. And it turns out it does make a difference. Rosemary smells so nice when you brush over it. Do you guys like the smell of it? I will tidy up this creeping thyme after I'm done with verbenas, because I just want to get the volume out of the way, and then we can get to the next step. To be careful here because the rose is growing here, so I don't want to be poked. Are you tied up? No. Oh, this one has grown into the ground. This pot plant, which name I don't know because it has faded. It has set roots into the ground. Oh la la, what are you? Okay, I'm gonna deal with that later. But I'm going to remove the roots of it straight away. This is again definitely not a place for plants, especially the ones that I don't know what they are at the moment. Can you see this little fellow here? That is not that little. So from my experience, I don't know about you guys, but having my garden for 3 years now and working with the clay soil as a base, I can tell that it's a very good base for plants to grow, because it's very nutrient, and everything that grows directly in the soil, in the clay, grows as if it was on steroids. The only thing is, or one of the things is with the clay soil, is that it can be quite difficult to dig anything in. So it's always a mission. There's always a risk that the roots will root bound, I guess. That's another thing. Oh my God, how deep is this going? Oh no. Whatever you are, I hope you're not invasive. Why does this always happen to me? I wasn't planning on digging for roots today. That's not what I wanted to do. How can a plant grow out of a pot and grow this many roots in one season so deeply? Well, having said that, what am I going through with the raspberries? And they were also planted from very small bare root canes, tiny, tiny ones. Nature is just very sarcastic. I don't even want to dig anymore of this, she said, and she keeps on digging. This is killing my vibe. I'm done. I'm going to pretend that this didn't happen. What is that? What are you? Oh, that was a crocus. You can go back. Sorry, dude. I don't even know what that is anymore. Okay, let's carry on with the verbena. Let's pretend that this didn't happen. Okay, I'll take this one from the other side. And this is the last of the sunflowers with a slug in there. Let me guys know if I should remove this foxglove because it doesn't look very good. It's been here for 2 years, for 2 seasons. Is it going to grow back? Oh. Hopefully there is no giant spiders in there. Oi, oi, oi. So this is the plant that has grown through the bottom of the pot into the ground and spread its roots. The roots are yellow, thick spaghetti type of roots. I don't know what that is. If you recognize this plant, if you could let me know, what the hell is this? And should I keep it or should I toss it? I definitely remember that I grew that from a bulb or a tuber that my husband brought me from, I think, Marks and Spencer. Sometimes he does that. He just brings me random bulbs to plant in the garden. And because I didn't have anywhere to put it in the ground, I guess luckily, I don't know, I put it in the pot, and this is where it was living for a year. It seems to be growing new leaves, new shoots here and here. So yeah, if you recognize what that could be, do let me know and tell me whether I should keep it or toss it so that I don't do more damage in my garden with potentially invasive plant. Okay, all the verbenas are trimmed, so I am just going to tidy up this border. Where's my bucket? From anything that I don't want in here. like these dead stems of the Brunnera. Oh. This one is looking clean. This is looking alright. Oh, right. Okay, little accident. This one is alright as well. I am going to trim this rose as well. I am going to remove some of the stems that I can see, like in here, if I can get to it. That is dead wood. And same with this bit here. How do I get to you? Yeah. This wobbly thing, I am going to take this one off. This one is growing inside and I don't want that. I am going to trim this one. And this one. Basically removing any shoots that are flimsy. And I also need to remove the leaves as well. How low do I trim this one? I think I'm going to go down here. I'm not worried about roses growing back. This one grew really well and it was planted into this place, into this spot last year, kind of mid-season. And it was fine. It will grow new shoots. I'm sure of it. The only rose that didn't do very well was the one at the edge of this bed, and I'm not sure why. You can see that the soil and the wood chip that was used here for mulching of this bed has kind of slid down into the paving, but that's because the layer of the ground that is kind of level to the paving is the clay, and then I was layering compost on top of the clay to plant things in easier. the idea for this border here is to use this wood as an edge, so that when I keep on mulching this bed with fresh compost and wood chip and whatever, it will not be, the soil will not be kind of sliding down, because as it rains, it pushes the ground, the gravity pushes the ground to the lower level when there is a lower level. So the idea is to put those pieces along the side and create kind of a nice edge for it, and then I will carry on mulching it, and it will be fine. This rosemary is humongous. Maybe I should chop this one. What do you guys think? Don't think, just do it. It's kind of looking dry anyway. Yeah, I think I will trim those longer stems that are falling to the sides. This smells so good. Maybe I should keep it for the kitchen. I'm just thinking, because the rosemary smells so nice and it's evergreen, maybe I should grow some more from seed this season so that I can plant it all over the allotment. It's not a bad idea, I think. I think that's thyme. So yes, in between those two big rosemary plants, there is a creeping thyme as well. But this border, it became so bushy in the summer that I think the creeping thyme in here has been just squashed. There we are on the other side again. So this is the first thyme, creeping thyme from the side. There's also quite a lot of grass merging into this bed, which I don't like. I will have this removed. Split up, guys. I think I am potentially hurting the thyme now, because I think it was kind of growing into the ground, which is what was the intent of it. But because of the mess with the grass in here, I have to split it. I pulled a lot of the roots out. What is that? There's grass again. Yeah, this is growing nicely into the ground, which is what it was supposed to do. But there is too much grass in between, which I don't want in here. Oh, sorry. Oh. Okay, what I'm going to do along this edge is I am going to try and remove a little bit more of this grass so that the line kind of matches with the end of the pavement. I know I am removing quite big chunks of soil with it, but grass, as you know, it grows in clumps and the roots are kind of bulky. And this is all merged into the clay soil. Because this grass here was laid from turf 3.5 years ago, and it's growing really well. Grass is basically undestroyable, at least in my garden. And like I mentioned before, I am planning to have an edge build all the way to the end of this border, so that the soil doesn't escape, and also so that the grass doesn't merge into this border here, because that's really annoying. And it happens every season, really, that I have to clear this side because the grass is trying to take over. Okay, I think I can leave this as it is. And once by we, I mean my husband and myself, decide to do the edge, I will probably dig a little bit more of a trench in here to do that. This thing, I had an achillea planted in here, but I think it's fair to say that it is no longer alive. Which is a shame, but oh well. There's some more crocuses popping up. Right, so I feel like I could trim this rosemary a little bit more, and I'm not sure if I should cut this creeping thyme. Should I cut it down? Is it going to grow back? I know I'm cutting quite a lot of the rosemary, but I want to because it's taking over this pavement here, and I want this to be walkable and workable. There's more crocuses in here. Should I cut this one? This is a big one. I'm cutting it. I mean, my approach to gardening and to plants in general is that it should serve me and not the other way around. So if something is causing a nuisance in the garden, it has to go. And like with this rosemary, while it's very nice to have it and it's nice to see that it's spreading really well and it's growing well, if it's kind of overtaking my space, then it shall be trimmed. Okay, do let me know what I should do with this thyme. Should I trim it? Is this how you're supposed to do it? Because while this is still quite lush and green-ish, let's say, the other ones over here do not look great at all. So should I trim it? And if I trim it, will it grow back? Okay, so this is the rosemary, and there's another one, another branch that was growing into the ground and setting its own roots, which is something that we don't want. Something that I don't want. I want the plants to grow exactly where I plant them. Okay, so this is the middle thyme, creeping thyme, the middle part. I feel the need to remove it, to chop it, but I don't know if that's a good decision. Okay, so this is where we are after the chopping has been done. Do let me know if I should be trimming the creeping thyme, because I feel like for the aesthetic reasons I would want to chop it, because as much as the first one looks kind of alright-ish for this season anyway, these two are looking bad, completely ick, and I have a a strong need to chop it down, but I don't know if it will grow back. I don't know that. Yeah, and that would be a shame if I chop, but what would come out of like something that looks like this? Probably nothing. But yeah, this is basically what we've come down to. This is the rosemary that I might take some of the branches home. And at the back you can see the mountain of verbena that I've chopped down. And this is how it looks after. So there is one verbena growing beautifully. Do let me know about the foxglove. There is another one. This is the tiniest one. There's another one. So that's 3, 4, 5, whoa, 6, and 7. So yeah, this is where we are. So the sun is setting now, and it's again getting a bit grayish and darkish for the video. And I can see that my battery is running out. So I am going to say my goodbyes now before it's too late. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as well. Let's keep our fingers crossed for the rain to stop, because I think we've had enough. We've had enough. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully my allotment will dry down a little bit in the next days, but I know that there is still rain in forecast, so but hopefully in the next weeks I will be able to go there and do some more work, which I would really like. And in the meantime, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing and for the lovely comments in the previous videos. Bye!